15 Things You Should Give Up to Be Happy. When PurposeFairy.com founder posted a list of things to let go in order to be happy, she had no idea that it would go viral, shared more than 1.2 million times and counting. Based on that inspiring post, this heartfelt book gives readers permission to give up. That is, to let go of the bad habits that are holding them back from achieving authentic happiness and living their best lives. Take a step back to reflect and give yourself permission to let things go. Chapter 12. Give up the need to always be right. The need to be right, the sign of a Virgo mind. My story. By May 2011, writing had become a regular self-empowering habit that helped me to grow wiser and stronger. Blogging became a source of strength and, as I shall reveal, indirectly, also became a source of new frustrations because I fell into the trap of needing to always be right. On the bright side, blogging helped me get my mind off Stefan. For hours, I sat in front of my laptop, constantly writing new posts, watching all kinds of inspirational videos, taking notes, and reading all sorts of materials to help ease the pain I was feeling. Despite the inner hurting, I had faith that one day things were going to get better for me and that I would finally get to live the peaceful, happy, and balanced life I dreamed of. I had no idea when or how that was going to happen. But I was beginning to feel it more and more within myself. And so, with every day that went by, I felt the urge to write more and more, to write about what I was going through, what I was feeling, and the many ways one could bring happiness and peace back into one's life. And the more I did that, the more I blogged, the better I started to feel, and the less time I seemed to spend obsessing about Stefan and his new girlfriend. It was actually during that time that I wrote my extremely viral blog post, 15 Things You Should Give Up to Be Happy, shared more than 1.2 million times on Facebook, and which this book is based on. Little did I know that it was going to be through writing and blogging that I had healed my past wounds, as well as live a life of joy and freedom beyond what I had ever dreamed possible. Funnily enough, however, after some time, even though my blog became a tool for self-growth, it also began attracting criticism from people I knew who read it. In short, most of my critics were trying to convince me that what I was doing was nonsense, and that I needed to find a better and more productive way of spending my time. "What's up with this blog of yours?" They often ask me with a critical tone. "Since when did you become a writer and stop believing in this nonsense you are writing about? All this new age crap is only meant to manipulate people. Why would you write about something like that?" "This isn't new age crap," I would reply, feeling slightly angry. Before launching into a heated argument with the critic. "Do you even know anything about personal development? Have you read any book in this field? I'm sure you haven't." Almost every discussion I had about my blog ended up in an argument about who was right and who was wrong, and made me feel bitter and resentful toward the critic in question. With the exception of my best friend, Ada, almost everyone who knew about my blog was constantly trying to tell me that I should stop. They all seemed to have something against me, forever telling me that I had no right and no expertise to talk about the things I was talking about, that I was feeding people illusions. And the more they would insist that it was all nonsense and a way to manipulate people, the angrier I had get, and the more I would try to convince them they were terribly wrong. I wanted people to believe me. I wanted them to agree with me. I was more interested in proving myself right than in being happy, and because of that, I failed to realize that it really didn't matter whether they believed me or not. It really didn't matter if they thought they were right and I was wrong. What mattered was what I thought of myself, and the hundreds of emails from readers who found inspiration and solutions in my words. Lessons in letting go. Say not, "I have found the truth," but rather, "I have found a truth." Say not, "I have found the path of the soul." Say rather, "I have met the soul walking upon my path." For the soul walks upon all paths. The soul walks not upon a line, neither does it grow like a reed. The soul unfolds itself like a lotus of countless petals. I used to think that things were either black or white, good or bad, beautiful or ugly, right or wrong, and that whenever someone perceived the reality different from what I was perceiving, it was my responsibility to argue with them and prove that I was right and that they were wrong. Throughout the time we spent in the US, Stefan and I would often engage in all kinds of arguments over silly things. And because we both thought our own point of view as being the right one, we would each try very hard to convince the other that the other was wrong, turning a silly argument into a huge fight. We were more preoccupied with being right and making the other person wrong than we were with loving, supporting, and caring for each other. And even though at that time I couldn't see how much this need to always be right was hurting our relationships, as soon as I got back to Romania, and as soon as I started reflecting on everything that had happened between us, I began to understand that it wasn't really worth it. Our minds are evolutionarily wired to look out for trouble, and whenever you fall into the trap of arguing with others over who is right and who is wrong, that's exactly what you will find: trouble. We are all the same in essence, and yet differently in identity. We each have a unique set of DNA, and we each perceive the world in different ways. There is nothing healthy in arguing with someone over who is right and who is wrong. There is nothing healthy in damaging the quality of our relationships and causing a great deal of stress and suffering for ourselves and for others. Just so we can be right and label the other person wrong. Arguing with people over who is right and who is wrong is nothing but a waste of time and energy. Life isn't about doing things that make sense and feel right for others. Life is about doing things that feel right and make sense for us, and allowing others to do the same thing for themselves. The path to giving up. Number 1. Know your worth. No tree has branches so foolish as to fight amongst themselves. When you know who you really are and where your real value and self-worth come from, you don't waste time trying to defend yourself and your opinions, alienating those who see the world differently than you do. You accept the world as it is, and even though you might not agree with how others live their lives, you understand that we are all doing the best we know how to do. And when we know better, we will do better. On the other hand, when you live your life from a fearful place, when you take your sense of worth, your identity, and your value from external things, you will find yourself investing a lot of time and energy arguing with people over who is right and who is wrong. When you believe every toxic thought that runs through your mind, being right feels very important because it gives you a false sense of power, security, and control. These small victories place you in an imaginary state of superhero, making you feel smarter and more valuable than those you proved wrong. But none of them have anything to do with who you truly are. The real you, who you are underneath it all, knows that at the core level, we are all connected with one another in a really divine and powerful way. And because of that, it understands the arguing with another human being over who is right and who is wrong. It knows that once you argue with another, you are, in fact, arguing with yourself. And so it seeks to love, to be one with everything and everyone without judging, without competing, and without trying to prove anything to anyone. It seeks to live in peace and harmony with the whole world. Number 2, Treasure your relationships. Words have the power to both destroy and heal. When words are both true and kind, they can change our world. If you have reached the point in your life and your spiritual evolution where you can see the big picture, where you understand that being kind is better than being right, choose to let it go. Who cares if you are right if in the process you cause someone else to feel unworthy and unloved? Who cares if you prove to the whole world that you are right and they are wrong, if in this process you damage or even destroy your relationships with those around you? Fighting over who is right and who is wrong can cause lasting damage to relationships and to others' sense of self-worth. Take a step back and remember what's most important. Don't let your ego get in the way. Be an example for those around you. Demonstrate to everyone you come in contact with, through your words, attitude, and behaviors, that you treasure your relationships more than the need to be right all the time. That happiness and peace of mind are a lot more important to you than winning arguments over who is right and who is wrong. Make peacefulness your highest priority. Let nothing and no one disturb your peace of mind. Number 3, choose kindness. Choose to be kind over being right, and you will be right every time. Many of us can't stand the idea of being wrong and will risk ending relationships or causing a great deal of stress and pain for ourselves and for others to prove we are right. It's just not worth it. Whenever you feel the urgent need to jump into a fight over who is right and who is wrong, ask yourself this question, as posed by Wayne Dyer. Would I rather be right or would I rather be kind? And choose to always be kind. Remember that the most important thing in life is to enjoy who you are, to love yourself, to love the people around you, and to accept, embrace, and love everything that life sends your way. Strive to accept that not everyone will agree with you. Practice tolerance, love, and acceptance instead of constantly arguing with others and trying to prove that you are right and they are wrong. Put love first. Choose to be kind and you will have more happiness and peace in your life. Listen to what others have to say with an open mind and a loving heart. Be open and willing to understand their point of view, and by doing so, not only will you help lessen the resistance you feel toward them and toward their ideas, but you will also learn to look at things from a new perspective. Every human being wants to be understood and acknowledged. Every human being wants to feel that who they are matters and what they say is valued by those around them. Give people what they are looking for. Give them the love and approval they need and long for. seek to treat everyone as you would like to be treated. Instead of immediately reacting to what people have to say, and instead of trying very hard to convince them that they are wrong and you are right. See if you can understand their point of view. See if you can understand them first before trying to make them understand you. See if you can give them your love and attention instead of listing all the reasons why you think they are wrong and you are right. Choose to be kind over being right, and see how much better that will make you feel.